Hey guys, XR Merrick here, and today I'm going to be going over some of the newest slash updated decks that are coming out in Elestrals Moonrise. I'm so excited for this set. I'm so excited for all the different strategies and decks that it brings, and the ones that it updates as well. So I am going to be going over some of my favorites, some of the ones that I think are going to be pretty good, and just the ones that I think will be cool and good at the same time. So starting off here, we're going to be going with Lunar Aggro. This deck is crazy. If anyone has been looking at some of these cards, they are really, really good. So the new cards are obviously Lunar Phase, Full Moon, as well as the other Lunar Phases, but Full Moon being the most egregious one. Um, Werepup, which searches Lunar Phases, Voldusk, which gets advantage off the Lunar Phases, and then Like a Void and Navi. Navi is just a good body, and Like a Void is a very, very easy body to get out when you just normal summon Werepup, grab Full Moon. Next turn, you can just make a big guy. Um, that's the whole deal. So getting out Like a Void is really, really easy. And then Lunar Phase is just a great way, even if you just draw it without anything else, really. Just a great way. You can put two Lunars onto any Elestral. Makes it really easy for Ascensions into, let's say, Fulgorix or Farrageist, which is part of the reason that Farrageist is now limited. But regardless, card is really, really good. And I think this deck is going to be really, really interesting. There's lots of different play patterns that you can go for. You can go into Posthumous. You can go into use Malice to search Farrageist, which I think is going to be pretty good. And then just using some of those big bodies that are pretty good in Lunar, like Pulveror and obviously Navi, as well as Spectaris and some other ones that are going to be pretty solid. So that's Lunar Aggro. I think it's going to be a great deck. I'm going to have a lot of fun testing with it. And the next deck that we're moving on to is Solar Foretell. This deck is really cool. Obviously, it kind of already exists with the cows, the soul stocks and whatever. But I think Dracoray and Winjin are going to be really, really solid. Obviously, Cockray and Dracoray. Cockray ascends into Dracoray when you use First Light, which just gives you a really quick body, 7/3, which doesn't die to Cryoblast. And it's just a good 7 attacker. And then when it is cast, you heal 3. So really, really solid, making a lot of your advantage back from when you do that. You can go into Dragulus. Dragulus is fine. If you want to play one of it, you can. But I think just the Cockray into Dracoray is going to be really, really solid. On top of that, you've got Winjin, which with First Light, you're going to be stacking a lot. And with the Apollo and all of that, you're going to be stacking your deck a lot. With that, your Winjin will always hit. And Winjin will ascend into Tornadian, who can just pick 3 cards in your deck with different names, and you just randomly get one of them to your hand. I believe it's random, but you get one of them to your hand, which is just, insane. You pick, Ambrosia, Gorgons, and Shield, and your opponent just kind of has to sit there and go, okay, you get one of those really good cards. So, that's going to be really, really solid. Then on top of that, the cards that are in Solar are already pretty good. They just they lacked a little bit of pushing power, which I think with Winjin and Dracoray coming in, it'll help a lot. Cards like Nebuleo are going to be very, very good. It was already very good, but searching out a First Light is going to be a lot better now that we've got Winjin and Cockray. The next deck that we're moving on to is Frost Self Mill. This deck's crazy. I'm excited to start testing it. Obviously, the new cards in it are the new main line, which is Snowlit, Asprowl, and Blistrix. The whole line is really, really good. Obviously, Snowlit is a receive Elestral that mills, I think, 3 when it receives one. Asprowl mills and special ascends when it is milled. And then Blistrix special ascends when it's milled. And then it can destroy a card non-targeting by just shuffling back, which is really, really good. Shuffle back an Asprowl and then mill it again, and you're summoning that back out. So that's going to be really, really cool. A lot of great advantage. And then the buff cards for that are obviously Avalanche. Avalanche is just a crazy card. It's never been too good, just because, what are you milling? But now that we've got some really good cards that you want to mill, this is going to be really, really solid. Kione, once again, you're using Kione to usually get back stuff that had already been destroyed, but now Kione just means free advantage. You use Avalanche, you activate Kione, grab back a Snowlit, summon Snowlit mill, maybe hit an Asprowl, and then you just gain so much advantage just on your first turn right there. So I think that's going to be really solid. And then Morlith, also another card that's just been kind of seeing play, but is now going to be really crazy when you just summon out a Morlith, mill, Kione grab back, or if you've already got a Snowlit on field, you drop Morlith and then you grab back an Asprowl. So I think it's going to be really, really cool just milling all of these cards. Very much Lightsworn-like from Yu-Gi-Oh! And I think this is going to be a ton of fun. I think it's going to be really, really good. I think it's going to be really aggro, and I like that. Next deck is Starbit. This deck is fun, I think. Whether it's good or not, I don't know, but I think it's got a lot of really, really cool stuff. So Starbit and Starbit Supernova are the new cards. Starbit basically gains 2 attack for each water on it, and then it can Nexus 2 water to it. And then when it receives 7 attack, it becomes Starbit Supernova. It just special ascends from deck. And Starbit Supernova, if it is ascended from Starbit, it just it can Nexus everything off of it, so it basically just ends up being kind of free if it tries to get just removed in any way. And you can always cast it. If you have Nexus 2 onto the original Starbit and then send it's going to start with 4 spirits on it, one of which you can just special send with a Frost, and then it's immune from Cryoblast, which is going to be its biggest weakness already. So that's going to be really, really solid. On top of that, it's going to buff Atlantis, which is going to buff base Starbit's attack. Poseidon, which you can Nexus onto base Starbit and get its attack up. And then Rise from the Depths. So this thing with Starbit is that it can't be normal cast, but it can be special cast. So a Rise from the Depths or a Rise from the Ashes is going to be able to bring back Starbit. Be not as costly as bringing back like a 2 or a 3 cost, but still be able to put out a 7/2 onto the battlefield. And let's say that you're, bring back a Starbit Supernova without its second effect, you can just Frost Enchant it again and have it be immune to Cryoblast. You don't need to put the water on it. But if you are ascending from the Starbit, you can play some cards like Drotagwa, so that way if this card's destroyed, you Nexus onto the Drotagwa, and then immediately you're healing, you're getting out you're getting a bunch of advantage even from this being destroyed. You're drawing the card. So I think it's going to be really, really cool boss monster. Love the design of it, and loves how it pushes like Water Nexus kind of reanimator decks. And lastly, we've got Position Control. This deck is really cool. I think it's really cool right now, but once Moonrise comes out, it receives so many cards that I think push it to just kind of a new level, right? So starting out with Joblin and Schnark. Schnark searches for any water, lunar, uh, any card with water and lunar in its enchantment cost. Um, so that includes Joblin, Tsunami High Tide, Rock and Hard Place, um, Draking. All of those can get searched out by Schnark. But in this deck, we're mostly going to be searching out Joblin and Tsunami High Tide. You've got a lot of cards in here that are going to change the positions. So, Alter, Tsunami, High Tide. So you're always going to be trying to protect whatever is there. So once you protect the Schnark, you can summon out a Joblin. And Joblin says that every time an Elestral switches positions, you draw a card, which is just great card advantage. And if you're not switching the things around the Joblin, you're switching the Armadon. And the Armadon says that whenever its position is changed, your opponent expends 1. So if you start off with an Armadon in attack position, they try to attack into it. It's a 1/6, so it's got great stats. They try to attack in it, you Tsunami, it goes to the fence, they burn 1, so you're even on Tsunami. And then next turn, you flip it to attack, they burn 1. You normal summon Eddie, flip it to defense, they burn 1, and then you're attacking with Eddie. And that's just going to be crazy. That's going to be so much burning that you're doing just from flipping positions, and you don't have to burn them either. You can just sit on a 1/6, and even if they summon Eddie to try and beat over it, and you've got no response and they beat over it, they've still just gone even in card advantage. Or in spirit advantage, because they spent 1, they spent another because of the flip, and then they've got rid of your Armadon. But they've already spent 2 just to get rid of the Armadon, so you're always going positive, and that's going to be really, really cool and very efficient for this deck. Yeah, and so that was the last deck that we're talking about, so that's it for today. I hope you liked the video. I will try to go over some of these deck lists once I get the Moonrise cards in. I want to try out each of these decks and kind of give you guys a deck profile and a kind of a breakdown of some of these decks, because I think they're all really, really cool. I really want to try them out and test them. Yeah, I look forward to that. If you liked the video, like, comment, make sure to subscribe so you guys see these deck profiles in the future and see some of this amazing Moonrise content that is going to be coming to you in the next couple of weeks once these cards come out. So thank you.